It's a very long day at the office. Where did you guys catch this no ball virus from, please?
Yeah, I thought that's the first question you're going to ask me. I'm not not surprised. Yeah, look, it's disappointing. It's something that does obviously creep into the game every now and then. We probably started a little bit with that problem in Bangladesh, sorted it out. Not a problem against Sri Lanka, I suppose. We did well, and now it's crept back in. Yeah, and it's obviously something we have to pay attention to again and make sure we fix it.
And can I just, what did you think of the plans or the execution of the plan this afternoon? Is that what you were looking for?
Look, I thought obviously we did well to bowl them out for 194 in the first innings, and making them follow on is always tough because I think as it is, the wicket is probably at its best to bat. You know, you could see that with the best batters in the world playing. While once the ball gets a little bit older, guys get set, it's a little bit slower. But at the same time, you have to be attacking it. So, you know, you can't defend because of the position we are in. So we have to keep slips in the gully in, and we have to use our bouncer even though it's not quick. So once the batters are set, it seems to be quite easy to rotate. Yeah, so you can, I suppose, go defensive, yeah, but we're not in that situation. We have to attack. So yeah, I think the plans is basically just to keep attacking. With that, you have to bowl well, obviously, in your good areas. So we bowled a few both sides of the wicket. But yeah, there's a couple of factors also, fatigue, and that comes in, no excuses. But yes, that comes in patches. So tomorrow is a new day. That first session is going to be also vital for us with a new batter in as well, and the captain needing to start again.
But just back to the no balls, those same bowlers don't bowl no balls in one-day cricket. What is the difference between, and obviously there's a free hit involved in one-day cricket, but what's the difference between overstepping in white ball cricket and in red ball cricket that it becomes so often?
It's just a general discipline, you know. It's obviously something you pay attention to when you practice. Sometimes you get your intensity sessions where you work at it, and other times it's not so intense, and you know, you bowl half a run up, and batters want the ball to come at them, and guys do step over. So it's we actually do pay attention to it. But to answer your question, it's not like it's just no balls in white ball cricket. But it's part of the game, you know. And I suppose it depends from player to player. You know, someone like Vian, what we're really trying to do is to get him to run in a little bit harder, you know, because he wants to be a bowler that, as a fourth seaman, attack, be a little bit quicker. So one of the aspects we worked on is for him to run in a little bit harder, and that brought its own issues. So with him, we had to address a couple of new ways to sort of say, listen, how do we fix the no balls? We worked on it this morning a bit, seemed to work for a while. Yes, and then for others, it's maybe different on different days. Sometimes it's ground, sometimes it's wind, sometimes it's fatigue, sometimes it's slope. Not to make excuses, but it's not, you know, this is the way you fix it. It's sometimes different for different people. How do you fix it? But yes, it's also a concentration thing. You know, once you bowl it, you have to adjust. And it just seemed like in this game we struggled to adjust. You know, you have to, because it's part of a discipline. Like you say in one-day cricket, it's discipline. So you've got to pay attention and focus on your discipline. So if you can do that, then you've got to do the same. Yeah, you've got to, you know, be disciplined.
Thanks. Could you speak a little bit about Quena? It was obviously just a big day for him. We saw a little bit of him yesterday, but just if you could talk us through what the mindset was like for him this morning, the messaging to him this morning, how you thought he went on the day. If you could just sum all of that up for us, please.
Yeah, look, obviously it's a massive opportunity for him, big day for him, big match. Obviously a bit of nerves, although he handles it quite nicely. But he's a quick bowler, you know, so generally our message is, to him is to make sure you bowl quick, because that's why he's selected, because he can bowl in the 140s. That's in our DNA as an African attack, you know, to bowl quick. And sometimes against the best batters in the world, in good batting conditions, even if you're 145 and you're offline, you're going to get punished. So he's going to learn that, So for him, it's yes, he's being exposed at age 18, but it's all about the process of learning as quickly as possible. And I'm sure he would take all that info, he'll go through it and he'll learn from it. We'll talk about it. So I just think the way he's gone, he's handling it quite well.
Piet, we've been talking quite a lot about how flat it is. Have you seen any sign that, I don't know, maybe it'll break up a bit? I know Keshav's been turning a few, what's going to happen in the next couple of days?
Yeah, look, there was a couple of slow motion videos about the dust. It's also it's not a lot of grass, so it looks like, and obviously you expect day 4, day 5 to be where the spinner comes into play. So already the couple's turned and, also bounced. The signs are there that coming after lunch tomorrow, going to maybe day 5, that yes, Kesh will come more and more into the game. And hopefully if it does happen, then Aiden will also play a role in that, So, that's how we have won test matches, It's did well in the first innings to bat deep. And did very well to bowl them out. I might follow on and, still the game's going to go deep, and that's Test cricket, we double 100 century there, or partnership there. That happens all the time in Test cricket, So it was our turn to face that, and we just have to be good tomorrow.
Cool. We're going to look to wrap and take the last couple of questions. So I think it's just Kaniso and Keenan.
Piet, good evening.
Good evening.
Proteas probably aren't accustomed to days like these where on one hand they'll bowl a team on 495, then have to try find a way through a partnership. It is the tail end of what has been a very good World Test Championship cycle, but how important are days like these to remind players that patience is a very important part of Test cricket?
Yes, we talk about it all the time because you expect these days all the time. But that's Test cricket. So we've been fortunate in the cycle. We've bowled size out. We've have a very good couple of tests where we've knocked teams over. And then these things we always talk about, the discipline. And I think that's the reason, and the patience. And that's the reason why we have been able to bowl sides out, because we always apply that mindset. So I think in terms of our discipline and the way we bowled, it's a reason why we've bowled teams out, is because we've always focused on that, being disciplined and being patient, and that's the way it works. So every now and then, if you get a situation like today where a partnership comes, I think nothing changes. Tomorrow morning we'll have to come back again and say, listen, what are the small things we need to focus on? And that will once again, like you say, once again be discipline and patience, And then, things will happen for you. But I think once you get frustrated or start searching a bit too much, like we might have done in the second innings, a bit searching too much, you go too straight, you start leaking and you're going at 4s and 5s. That's what you don't want to do. So the goal will be, instead of talking about wickets, let's go back to try and see if we can go at 3s. False shot will come, and that's how we've been operating and need to keep going.
Keenan to wrap.
I bet.
Yes.
I guess it's easy to say in retrospect, but was there any consideration of maybe batting for a couple of hours while the pitch was at its flattest at midday, and then sending them in to bat later in the day? Or was this seen as an opportunity to sort of really get lots of miles on the legs for the bowlers?
As a bowling coach, I don't know. I wasn't part of the bowling or the batting discussion or the discussion. But yes, obviously, when it comes to still in day 3, good batting conditions, that's also, then you ask the question, how deep do you go, But I just thought with 420 behind, we had to make the decision, to bowl again. And I'm sure if we have a good session tomorrow morning, that will justify it.
Great. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Piet.
Thank you.